Christina Applegate has reached a heartbreaking chapter in her life. The career that once lit up Hollywood, the sitcoms, the movies, the live shows is now slipping away. Her final television role is over. Her last film has been canceled. And the truth is, she can no longer work the way she once did because of a disease that is slowly destroying her body. But the illness, as devastating as it is, isn't the only story. The deeper story is about the shadows of her past, the abuse, the predators, and the painful choices she was forced to make as a child. For decades, nobody knew. But now, through her upcoming memoir, Christina is preparing to open the door on secrets that will leave even her most loyal fans shaken. Christina Applegate's journey began on November 25, 1971, in the heart of Hollywood. Her father worked as a record producer, while her mother, Nancy Pretty, was both a singer and an actress. But the family didn't last. Soon after Christina was born, her parents went their separate ways, leaving Nancy to raise her daughter on her own. From the very beginning, Christina's life was surrounded by show business. She was only 3 months old when she appeared on the soap opera, Days of Our Lives, alongside her mother. Babysitters were a luxury Nancy couldn't afford, so Christina was taken everywhere. Auditions, performances, rehearsals. Sometimes Nancy would lure her baby on stage with M&Ms while she herself performed. While other children her age were just beginning to speak, Christina had already become a member of the Screen Actors Guild by the time she entered kindergarten. At only 5 months old, she appeared in a Playx baby bottle commercial. For some, it was a cute family memory. For Christina and Nancy, it was survival. Her earliest memories weren't filled with cartoons or playgrounds. Instead, they were of cameras, lights, stage directions, and the endless waiting between scenes. Musician Stephen Stills briefly dated Nancy during those years, and he once gifted little Christina a guitar, a treasure she kept for years. Hollywood wasn't just a career for Christina. It was the only world she knew, and it demanded that she grow up fast. By the age of 9, she was already making her film debut in the horror movie Jaws of Satan, a bizarre story about snakes possessed by the devil terrorizing an Alabama town. Christina played the daughter of a businessman. The film was so obscure that it barely saw release, but it was still a pivotal moment. Christina had moved beyond baby commercials and into real acting. Soon she was appearing in shows like Charles, In Charge, and Silver Spoons. In 1986, her performance in Heart of the City earned her a Young Artist Award. But while other kids played in the park after school, Christina was memorizing lines and spending long hours on set. Behind her success, though there was pain, at just 8 years old, a neighborhood boy called her fat. It was only one word, but it pierced deep. Christina later admitted that single insult triggered a lifelong struggle with food and self-worth. By the time she was 15, as she landed the role that would make her famous, Kelly Bundy on Married with Children, her mother enrolled her in Weight Watchers. Christina began starving herself. Some days she ate nothing more than 5 almonds. If she allowed herself 6, she would cry and refuse to leave the house. Her mother didn't seem to realize the harm. When Christina dropped to 110 lb, NY's only response was, "How'd you do it?" Then came 1987, the year Christina stepped into the role that would define her career. At just 15, she became Kelly Bundy, the bold, ditey daughter in Suyano Fox's outrageous sitcom Married with Children. The show would run for 11 seasons, helping Fox grow into a powerhouse network. Christina's portrayal of the lovable, dumb blonde became iconic. Fans adored her Kellyisms, and she became a household name. But behind the laughs, Christina's private battle with an eating disorder was destroying her. She would not reveal the truth publicly until 2024 on her podcast with Jaime Lynn Sigler. She admitted that the pressure to stay thin drove her to starve herself, that she wanted her bones to show. On screen, she appeared fine, but inside, she was falling apart. Even today, mirrors remain a struggle. She sometimes leaves notes on them to avoid breaking down. Her first big film role came at 19 with Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Released in 1991, it landed at number 6 on opening weekend with just $4.2 million and eventually grossed $25.1 million. Christina admitted later that she hadn't even wanted to do the movie. She was still unmarried with children and thought commercial films weren't worth her time. Looking back, she called herself a freaking asshat for the way she behaved on set. Yet, despite its weak box office, the movie slowly gained cult status through VHS rentals and cable reruns. Viewers connected with Christina in ways critics didn't. By 1998, Married with Children had ended and Christina was 26, ready to prove she was more than just Kelly Bundy. That year, she starred in 2 very different films, the big hit opposite, Mark Wahlberg and Mafia or a Mob Spoof. Neither became blockbusters, but they marked her transition into adult roles. In 2002, she went further with The Sweetest Thing alongside Cameron Diaz and Selma Blair. Critics were harsh. Roger Ebert said it wasn't a good movie, but he admitted the actress's energy and chemistry were irresistible. For Christina, it was a turning point. She wasn't just a sidekick anymore. She was stepping into the role of a leading lady. Then came Anchorman in 2004. As Veronica Corningstone, a character inspired by journalist Jessica Savage, Christina stood toe-to-toe with Will Ferrell and his improv-heavy comedy crew. Her sharp timing and commanding presence turned Veronica into a character that fans instantly loved. Nearly a decade later, when Anchorman 2 was released in 2013, Christina returned, proving that her place in comedy history was secure. Her dream of Broadway finally came true in 2005, when she starred in the revival of Sweet Charity at the Al Hirschfeld Theater. Opening on May 4th, the show ran for 279 performances until December 31st. Christina's performance earned her a Tony, award nomination, a Drama Desk nomination, and a Theatre World Award. Critics praised her transition from television comedy to musical theater, but the journey was brutal. During previews, she broke a bone in her foot during a performance in Chicago. The pain was excruciating. Yet, she kept going, even convincing producers to bring the show to Broadway despite her injury. She performed in medical boots, dancing, through agony, until her body finally gave out. By 2013, she admitted she could never dance again. The injury had permanently ended that part of her career. Her personal life was no less turbulent. Christina married actor Jonathan Shaw in 2001, but by 2005 he filed for divorce. It was finalized in 2007. Shortly after, her ex-boyfriend, photographer Lee Griess, died of a heroin overdose at just 26 years old. Christina was devastated. She described him as an incredible person gone too soon. Then, in August 2008, Christina's life changed again. At just 36, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Tests revealed she carried the BRCA1 gene, giving her an 87% lifetime risk of breast cancer and a 44% risk of ovarian cancer. She chose to undergo a double mastectomy. A month later, she was declared 100% cancer-free. But the emotional scars ran deep. She later admitted to crying and screaming in private, even as she joked in public that she would have the best boobs in the nursing home. Out of this pain, she launched Right Action for Women, a charity providing MRI screenings for high-risk women. The years that followed brought both triumphs and threats. Golden Globe nominations for Jessie, an Emmy win for her guest role on Friends, and a successful run with Samantha Who, but also stalkers, terrifying threats and invasions of her personal space. Then in 2021 came the diagnosis that would change everything: multiple sclerosis. Looking back, Christina realized the signs had been there for years. She had fallen during the filming of Dead Tommy's pilot, but brushed it off. By the final season, she needed a wheelchair just to get to set. MS began stripping away her independence, opening bottles, holding her phone. Even walking across a room became battles. She gained 40 lbs, needed a cane, and described her existence as living in hell. Her struggles continued. In 2023, she contracted neurovirus after eating at a restaurant, leading to endless hospital visits, excruciating stomach pain, and humiliating moments she shared openly with her fans. By the end of that year, she admitted she would likely never act on camera again. Her final public appearance came at the Psy Awards, where she called it her last. Yet, Christina has never stopped fighting. She has spoken out about disability rights, fought for accommodations on sets, and used her voice to demand recognition for those who feel invisible. Now, at 52, Christina Applegate stands at a crossroads. Her upcoming memoir, You with the Sad Eyes, promises to reveal the untold traumas of her life, the abuse, the body image struggles, the abandonment. After a lifetime in Hollywood, beginning at only 3 months old, she is ready to tell the story in her own words. She may no longer be on stage or in front of a camera, but her strength, honesty, and resilience continue to inspire. Christina Applegate has lost much, but her courage remains. The most important person in this world is my daughter. You are so much more. You are so much more than even you know. Christina Applegate has reached a heartbreaking chapter in her life. The career that once lit up Hollywood, the sitcoms, the movies, the live shows is now